Hi, I'm Erica. In this module, we'll review the games in the cognitive therapy portion of Neuralign. Each video will show you what the game looks like in session 1, and then again in session 15, so you can see how they progress in difficulty. We'll also explain what each game targets to help build a reading brain. Let's get started. This is the Bees game, which is in all 5 levels. Here's what it targets: right to left and left to right movement. This targets saccadic eye movement, tracking, and conversion. The rotating foreground addresses the vestibular system and ocular movement and orientation. It also targets central vision and peripheral vision. Because the octagons are working in front of the bees, it fine-tunes visual perception composure or visual closure. Visual closure is an essential component of speed reading.
Beach. We grabbed our swimsuits and went to the beach.
This is Australia. The function of this game varies depending on the level of the student. The junior level features sound to letter recognition. P1 is blended sounds to letter combinations, and P2 upwards is homophones. Australia targets active working memory and increases working memory. Cognitive manipulation with simultaneous contemplation works the overlay into cognitive flexibility. It also targets the automaticity of decoding skills, auditory and visual. Visual cues for younger students create an overlay from the right to the left side of the brain and provides an easier transition to lexicon, which will create more meaning and make it easier to bridge from picture thinking to lexicon thinking. This is China, which is in all the levels. China targets auditory processing. Simple, elongated words allow the individual phonemic components to be processed, and then blend the sounds to formulate complete words. Visual closure is the ability to visualize a complete whole when given incomplete information or a partial picture. This ability helps children to read and comprehend information quickly. Their eyes don't need to process each letter in each word separately in order to understand the word by sight. This is Egypt, which is in all the levels. However, in the junior level, it only appears after session 12. Egypt targets the visual system, plus blended contrast. Moving text targets the vestibular-ocular interaction with timing, while searching works on tracking. The busier the background becomes, the more it works on blended contrast with the same element on visual closure. This is Sunny Scotland, which is in levels junior and P1. Sunny Scotland targets coding and decoding through auditory and visual discrimination. Delayed timing gives the brain time to catch up with what has to be decoded and then puts the word together by blending sounds. Sunny Scotland also has a rotating foreground, visual distractions in the background, and visual obstacles, which all work on the visual timing components. Scotland appears in levels P2 and up. Scotland targets decoding through auditory and visual discrimination. Delayed timing gives the brain time to catch up with what has to be decoded and then puts the word together by blending sounds. Scotland also has foreground visual distractions in the background, and visual obstacles, which all work on the visual timing components. This is pinball, which is in all levels. Pinball targets auditory processing speed and response speed. Auditory processing speed refers to how the brain registers information and sends that information to the cortex. The response speed is how we respond to the message that reached the cortex. Auditory and visual cues target visual and auditory attention and visual closure, and movement works on the ocular-vestibular interaction. The Mosaic game is in all levels. Mosaic targets right to left and left to right movement. This fine-tunes saccadic eye movement, tracking, and conversion. The rotating foreground addresses the vestibular component and ocular eye movement and orientation. It also targets central vision and peripheral vision, because the octagons are working in front of the mosaics. Visual perception composure, visual closure is also targeted. Visual closure is required for speed reading. These are all the games that are in the cognitive therapy portion of Neuralign. After session 9, speed reading unlocks, and then after session 15, the reading exercises unlock. You will learn more about those games in the next modules. If you would like to try the games to see how they work, I encourage you to visit the demo section on your portal or on our website. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next module.